Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Nintendo Fanboyz. And by some miracle, Steven and I actually managed to get together.
Yep, it's true. I'm here today. I don't know for how long because my youngest is sleeping right now. He could wake up in an hour or he could wake up in 5 minutes and Jared will have to do the rest of this podcast by himself. So who knows what we're going to talk about. I have nothing prepared. The only thing I wanted to talk about is just games we were playing right now and Mario Maker after that, because I've been playing a lot of Switch games. We've been playing a lot of Switch games since the last time we did a podcast together that we can talk about a bit more. And Mario Maker is about to come out in 2 days. By the time this podcast hits YouTube, it will be out. I wanted to talk a bit about it because the reviews are out and it's looking good, and I just wanted to talk about that. So how does that sound to you, sir?
It sounds very good. I think the smartest thing to do here, because of time, is to start with Mario Maker, and then we could go into what you're playing or something like that. Like, leave what I'm playing to the very end so that if Soka wakes up and you have to leave, that it's not a big deal.
Okay, so we'll start with Mario Maker. That's a good plan. Like I said, it's going to be released in 2 days. We're recording this on the 26th, which is a Wednesday, and it's out on Friday. So, as you all know, Mario Maker on the Wii U was one of my favorite games last gen. I cannot wait to play this. Making levels and sharing them with friends was something of an unexpected hit for me, because I've never enjoyed creating my own games, never loved that, never thought I would. I thought I would play Mario Makers, I would play other levels created, but I never thought I'd have actually fun creating levels, and it ended up that I did. So Mario Maker 2 sounds fantastic. From the trailers we've seen, it seems like they've added a billion other features. What I really like about the reviews I've read, which got high scores, like Nintendo Life gave it a 10 and IGN gave it a 9.5. Both said that the story mode itself could be its own standalone game and nobody would complain about it, which means that like this could be an $80 game, just the story mode, and it would be worth it. So that should be relief for you that are probably not gonna bother creating levels and whatnot, but that seems like some wonderful news. I cannot wait to have the option of creating levels, and when I don't feel like it, just opting and playing either levels online created by other people or the story mode itself, which has like over 100 levels, and you need to rebuild a castle by doing jobs and getting coins and stuff like that. Sounds simply fantastic. Cannot wait to do that. The only nitpick I have with a game I haven't played yet, so keep that in mind, but it seems that, and I don't recall this being in the Wii U version, but it seems that if I want to play Jared's level, for example, he will need to give me his Mario Maker 9-digit ID, which is weird, because if I recall from the Wii U version, if Jared was my friend, I could simply see his levels like that, but I could be mistaken. But this is incredibly out of touch by Nintendo to do that. This is not a game that allows voice chat or stuff like that. So I don't think sexual predators can reach you by being your friend on the Switch and letting you see their Mario Maker levels without giving you their Mario Maker 9-digit ID. I just don't understand this move. It seems very backward thinking, doesn't make any sense. I hope they fix it, and I hope people complain about this, because they have complained about the fact that you can't play co-op levels with online friends, and they're saying they're gonna fix that with an upcoming patch. So hopefully this also gets fixed. It's a really, really annoying thing, but it's not the end of the world, because I know that I will easily be able to get my friend's Mario Maker ID via text, do it once, and that will be it. But it's still something that I don't understand why they're doing it. But yeah, like, I'm really looking forward to Friday after work, hopefully before I'll finish a bit early so I can play a bit before I go pick up Elliot at school. But we'll see. I know this is a long weekend this weekend, so I will have plenty of time to give this game a look.
That's amazing. It's 100. It's 100 stages, right?
Yeah.
That you have to do. Yeah, I'm actually. The truth is, I had very little interest in this. Just wasn't in the mood. Yeah, I don't know. Ever since I've been off, I've been playing, ironically enough, Metroidvania style games. It's just been like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And Bloodstained finally hit, and I can just tell you in a nutshell, it doesn't suck. It's incredible. I'm shocked. I didn't mean the game's incredible. I mean, I'm shocked that it's like it's not garbage. I'm really, really surprised. So I want to do a few more things in that, and then I think I'll go ahead because I'm gonna have to like pick up Mario Maker no matter what, because you're obviously gonna do a review, and I'm gonna need footage and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make that happen. I've actually been reviewing games too, which is shocking, and hopefully I've had a really I don't want to say bad 2 weeks, but I've had a busy 2 weeks, man, like just nuts with work and personal life and everything. It's been insane, actually. So I'm hoping that during the long weekend I have some kind of like downtime. I'm praying to God so that I can actually enjoy good old Mario Maker, because I think honestly I've played enough Metroidvanias now that I'm like, okay, it's time for me to play something else. I still want to finish Hollow Knight, but I'll touch base on that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Mario Maker. It's just I wasn't at the time. I was like, whatever, we'll see how it goes. But the reviews, I read a couple of reviews this morning, and yeah, it sounds really sick. And I hope that the progressively more difficult levels sort of inspire me to play a little bit longer than I did with the original one, because some of those levels were just insane. Like the difficulty of like level 1-1 is crazy.
Yeah, one of my favorite things when you did those Let's Plays, so I'm going to force you to do at least one stream of that game. I showed up for a Timothy stream this weekend, believe it or not, and it was actually quite fun, especially when Cranberry's there and a few other people. We have some chatting stuff. I miss when you used to do that before you got lazy. So,
lazy, yes, lazy. That's it.
You've been off school for what, a month now? No streaming?
Been off for, let's see, when did I get back? Wow, that's crazy, eh? It's been 1, 2, 3. Yeah, as of today, it's been 4 weeks exactly.
Still no streaming.
Yeah, so, there's going to be
laziness, extreme.
No streaming, I don't think. What I've been asked, though, is interestingly enough, is our YouTube people have been asking me, like, why don't you stream on YouTube? Because that way it goes to all 12,000 of our subscribers. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Apparently it has all the exact same tools and same everything else as Twitch does. The difference being that you have like 12,000 people automatically get notified.
The only difference I've seen, because with when Tim twitches, because my laptop is only on when I do these things with you, I can easily take part in the chat on my phone. But on YouTube, like, there's not really a way. There doesn't seem to be a chat function.
Really? Because it's the same.
Maybe in the YouTube app, but it seems to be like it's like comments and stuff like that. I'm not sure how it works. So I'll have to check it out. But yeah, you can always stream on YouTube. I guess it's the same result.
Anyways, we'll see. What I really want to do is I want to have like a day off. So one full day off where I could do something like that, right? Like where I can just mess around and have some fun with some of these things. Like I also had a request to stream or at least showcase Dragon Quest VIII on mobile, which was an interesting request because of the Dragon Quest characters being announced in Smash. We've had a substantial increase in the number of Twitter followers, subscribers on YouTube, etc. And so we're getting a lot of people asking me questions about like, where should I start playing Dragon Quest? And what's coming up more and more is obviously, like I say, a great place to start obviously right now is 11, but if you're waiting for the Switch version of 11 because of Smash introduced you to it, so you obviously have a Switch. The next best one I find in terms of feature set and stuff is 8, and unfortunately it's only available on the 3DS. And I say unfortunately because where else are you going to play it? Well, your only other option is mobile. And so
you
there
have
was
the PlayStation 2 version.
Yeah, you do, but I'm saying, like, these are people that, they own a Switch and that's it type of thing. Like, they're not going to go buy a PS2 or a 3DS or anything. So they're like they're saying, well, I already have a phone. Why can't I just play it on my phone? And 8, I don't believe so. I'd have to check, but I don't believe so. So if you do have a phone, right, like it's available on it. The only thing is, like, I actually did a video on this years ago, literally years ago, basically saying how god awful it was. The frame rate was horrendous, and like it was in portrait mode. So your character basically made up the entire screen. You couldn't see very much of the world whatsoever, and it played horribly. It was like 15 or 20 frames per second or something ridiculous, Like, it was just terrible. But this guy, sorry, I forget your name, he left a comment saying that apparently it's been vastly improved. And he was like, I'd really like to see more than just a 5-minute intro type of thing. So I was like, okay, well, if I get a day off, I should be able to do that. And July, really, it should slow down. June was just a little bit hectic because I just got back, right? And also with work and like there's birthdays and all this kind of crap. So it was just really like, whoa. But I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed that my time will slowly start.
You get Fridays
increase.
off now, right?
In theory, that's the problem, because I took on a side project, and now that side project is it's like ballooned into this giant project. So I'm trying to.
You never learn. You always take on projects.
I know. I'm special. That's what my mama says. So, but seriously, I'm really trying to cut back on everything because I just want to have some downtime before I get back to school and all hell breaks loose. I really want to just like, relax there for a little bit. So there's Dragon Quest 8. The moral of the story is there's Dragon Quest 8 and there's Mario Maker. And someone even said I should check out Bloodstained. The only thing is with Bloodstained is I don't really want to play it again right away. If I know that there's supposed to be like DLC packs with different characters and stuff, that would be more interesting to me than playing. It's like I literally just finished the game. To go back and play it again with my limited time is not that enticing. I'd rather obviously play something else, right? Like, I like to play another game because before you know it, I'll be back in school and there goes all my free time. And I can't tell you, by the way, how happy I am that Animal Crossing is not coming out this year.
Same here. Did you review Bloodstained?
No, not yet. That was supposed to be Friday.
All right.
Like, it's the only, really, seriously, it's the only time I really have. But word of warning for people, from what I've heard, I don't know, but from what I've heard, the Switch version really is just as bad as it was during its...
yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. That's what I heard. I read the IGN review, and they did say the Switch version was apparently not that good, and then I went to another site, and the detail were, like, apparently, which I don't get, like the farther you get into the game, like the frame rate goes like 15 frames per second at many areas, stuff like that. Like,
yeah, you remember the I don't care. Okay, spoilers. Okay, spoilers. I'm warning you now. But there are not a lot, but some of the bosses from the 2D version are in the 2.5D version. Do you remember the gold guy?
Yep.
That gold guy on a PS4 Pro,
with the hat, the casino guy.
Yeah, he brings the frame rate down from. I don't have a PS4 Pro, but from what I've heard, he brings the frame rate down to like 20 frames per second
on a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, on a PS4 Pro.
How the hell? Like this game is not like.
I can tell you if you'd
not
like to know.
Doom
I can tell
Eternal.
you.
Like, well, how the
No,
how the
it's
hell?
it's called. This is the problem with the concept of Kickstarter. If you remember back like years ago, and I know I'm going to tangent a little bit here. We're not even talking about Mario Maker 2, but whatever. Kickstarter, the concept of Kickstarter was brilliant. We were all excited. We're like, yes, we can finally get the games that we want instead of like, oh, if it doesn't, character doesn't have big boobs, well, that's it. It won't get pre-approved and we're screwed. And so this was really, really exciting. It lasted for a bit, and there were some unbelievable hits. If you look at Shovel Knight, if you look at... was your farming game a Kickstarter?
Don't
Stardew Valley?
So. I don't believe so.
Okay. The other one that I know was Hollow Knight is another one. So those are two Kickstarters that really did what they said they were going to do. Like, they straight up did everything that they said they were going to do, more or less, right? And that really... I don't care what games came out first or whatever. But it showed that there was some merit to the concept. But then you get Mighty Number 9, and I'm not going to go into all this. You all know that it not only crashed on itself, I'd like to say that it basically destroyed the concept of Kickstarter, like completely destroyed it. And Steven, you were saying yourself, like, this isn't looking good. Oh, that's really funny. Siri just like came on. That's hilarious. Anyways, like you were saying yourself that there's a lot of like, it's not looking good, right? Like it's getting delayed time and time again. And I was like, yeah, I know, but the demo was fun, like they released a demo and I was like, it's not perfect or anything, but it was fun. And it took in total 4 years to get this game out. And I can tell you right now, like, Kickstarter is done. For video games like this, I don't think we're going to see any more be hugely successful, because look at the bandwagon that you got here. You got Mighty Number 9 that really crashed and burned. You got Yooka-Laylee that didn't turn out anywhere near as good as people thought it was going to be. And Ritual of the Night, I'll tell you right now, here, it did turn out. Okay, it's a really good game. It feels identical to Symphony of the Night. The thing is, it feels identical to Symphony of the Night for better or worse, which I will cover in my own review. But the promise, like, it's like Iga said right away, he had the money. He didn't go to Kickstarter for the money. He went to Kickstarter as a way to really like market the game and to get additional funding for some of the other features. But if you look at the history of the development of this game, it changed developers 5 times, or at least 5 developers worked on this game. That's usually a very, very bad sign. Now, thankfully, in the end, it did turn out, but they overpromised. This is the issue with Kickstarter. Originally, they had like something like 7 or 9 different platforms that this thing was promised to be on, and then slowly but surely, they cut away different versions of it, but I think that's still the main problem. What should have happened in a case like this is they should have said, listen, we're making Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night for the PlayStation 4. That's it. Point final. Like, no, that's it. Not like, oh, we're going to bring it on the Wii, or we're going to bring it on the Wii U, or we're going to bring it on the Game Boy, the Linux, my pocket calculator. Like, that's the real problem with Kickstarter, is that they constantly do this stuff. They overpromise, and then what ends up happening is you end up under-delivering. So in this case, it's very clear what happened is they spread the resources.
Though you say the game is good, that's fine, but it just... If it runs at 20 frames per
no,
second
okay,
on
yeah,
the PS4
so
Pro, so
no.
certain area.
It's only okay. So with the PS4 Pro, it's literally one boss. That's it. And it's only at one part in that one boss battle where it happens, and I have no idea why. The rest of the game is 60 frames per second. You're good to go. Like it's absolutely fine. I was actually shocked that when I was reading some of the comments, shall we say, for because there was no reviews, but for Bloodstained, no one was mentioning it, and I was like, well, maybe it's my system. And it was only one other guy that I saw that mentioned, like, no, there is one point where it like slams. It's basically when he does that attack where he drops gold. it like slams, man, the system. But again, it's optimization because they basically released this on what? They released it on Steam, they released it on PS3, they have a Switch version. Those are 3 platforms.
Is there a PS3 version? Are you sure? I don't think so.
I said PS3, sorry, PS4. So it's on PS4, Steam, Xbox, and
Switch.
And Switch. It's too much. It's as simple as that. They took on too many damn platforms. And from my understanding, the Switch version, and I don't have a digital code for it. That my Kickstarter reward, I thought it was digital. It's not. It's physical. So I have 2 copies of the game. One of them is yours. And it's like, why would you release this if it wasn't ready, guys? Like, optimization, for God's sakes. Like, it's annoying because it's like, if they would have just concentrated on 1 or 2 platforms, yes, you wouldn't have made as much money. But you could have even said in the Kickstarter, we'll release more after the game is out and we have additional resources to release this. And I don't know if you heard about the game-breaking glitch, but that was brutal, man. Yeah. Well, that was anyway, so brutal.
I was looking forward to this game. I was planning on buying it, but when you told me you had it, I decided to wait because you were going to send it. But since Mario Maker is coming out Friday, it's better that way because honestly, on Friday, I'm probably not going to be playing anything else for a while but Mario Maker 2. So right now, before we talk about Cadence of Hyrule and Gato Roboto and stuff like that, I want to talk about Contra Anniversary Collection.
Yeah, how is it?
This is what I'm playing right now until Mario Maker 2, just a casual game. I've only played like an hour or 2, but it's fantastic, man. I just don't know what to say. Like, I just played Contra 1.
Do they have the Famicom version of?
They have the Famicom.
So with the moving backgrounds and everything.
They have the Japanese versions.
Nice,
every game.
Nice.
So I played Contra on the NES, and man, this game I absolutely love it, and I almost beat it. I have no problem beating it. I'm using the Konami code. I haven't played it in years, but it's so much fun. And I wish I had somebody here to play it with because I love it even more in co-op. It's fantastic. Then I tried some of the games I've never played. Operation C on the Game Boy. It's actually pretty good. It's a bit repetitive, like the backgrounds repeat themselves. There's not that much stuff, but it's a Game Boy game, and it seems on the easier side. Like, I didn't lose a life until I was on the 3rd level. And then I didn't really try that hard and I failed. I think I was at the final boss of the 3rd level or something like that. And there's 5 levels and all. So it doesn't seem like it's a difficult game, but I'll have to play it again at some point. And then I tried the Genesis version. And thankfully there's a way to switch the controls natively in that game in the menus. Because I don't think you can actually switch the controls in the Konami collections. But I'll have to recheck that. Because I just could not play the game because jump is shoot and shoot is jump, but then you can switch it, and when I switch it I was able to play the game. It's awesome, man. The Genesis version is awesome. It's so damn hard. It's incredible, ridiculous. Like, I've read in reviews that most people
hold on. I just want to, sorry, I'm cutting you off, I know. I don't know if you know this, but the American version of that game is actually a broken version.
What do you mean?
It basically, the difficulty that you're talking about, that's not, the developer didn't design the game like that. If you want to play the original version of that, you need to play the Japanese version because you have a health bar.
Okay, well, the Japanese version is included.
So I'm just letting you know.
I was playing. I didn't know. It sounded fun to me. Anyway, I've made it all the way to the boss, and like, I haven't tried the Konami code. I don't know if it works in that game, but like, it's a really, really difficult game. But it seems like with a friend and with some practice, I could maybe make some progress into it. But it was just, and so now I need to try. I haven't played Super Contra because that game, I wanted to play games I've never played before. Super Contra I've played on the Wii before a lot. That's a game I was able to complete by myself so much because I've played it so much on the Wii Virtual Console. Super C I've played once or twice because I believe Marc-André when we were in high school, got a copy for the NES, and we played it then once or twice. It was a lot of fun, but I never had Super C as a child, so I don't have much experience with it. And the arcade version of Contra, I've destroyed on the Xbox 360 Virtual Arcade. So maybe I'll try it a bit just to see how it runs. I probably will, but I always prefer the NES Contra over it. It seems way better, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, so far it's a wonderful collection. Like, especially for me, Contra, I believe I ranked it fourth on my top 10 games of all time when we did that podcast many years ago, and it's just still amazing today. It just hasn't aged at all. Just can't wait to play more. I wish I could play with someone here. I wish it had an online co-op, but besides that, yeah, fantastic collection. Really worth it.
Did you go through the Japanese version? Because I know most North Americans, if they're not used to the Japanese version, they're blown away when they see the graphical upgrade.
No, I haven't had much chance. It's strange because Contra on the Famicom is included in the regular collection, and then they just patched the Japanese version if you click on it. So I did click on Contra for the Famicom quickly. All I noticed was the sound was much better. That's all.
Okay, because the original version of that has moving backgrounds, has a different layer of special effects because they made the chip, like the actual cartridge, had a proprietary chip on it that when the game came to North America, they didn't want to produce it with the extra chip because of the extra money that was involved. So they removed that, so they had to dumb down the graphics. But in terms of gameplay, it's identical, like same number of levels, same everything. It's just that you get like snow comes in, the trees actually move in the background and stuff. Like I'm telling you, as a Contra fan, like you'd probably never want to play the NES one again, in the sense that it's the exact same game except way nicer looking, and you'd be like, holy crap, like it's really something to see.
Yeah, sure to give it a try.
All right, what was the other one? What else were we Cadence of Hyrule you want to talk about, eh?
Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule, we both finished it, so we can go into details about it. You've reviewed it. By the time I started, I think you had already finished it, so really fun game. It really kind of makes me wish that A Link to the Past was available on the Switch, because it's awesome like that. Like it's made to be played and replayed and replayed and replayed. So in that direction, like, I'm not a mega fan. I don't think I liked it as much as you did, but I did. Like, from when I started it, I had to finish it in a few sittings. I was addicted to it, but it's roguelike, so it has random elements. Everything is random almost, and when you die, you have to restart. Like, you keep all your main weapons and stuff. You keep your hearts, but you don't keep your money and stuff like that. So there's that, but. The major problem I have with it is that I suck at musical games, so I have no rhythm whatsoever. Thankfully, the game is not hard at all, because once you persevere, you actually get upgrades, and eventually, for me, once I got a sword that could reach like 2 squares up or 2 squares, whatever the long swords, the game got really, really easy for me. Like, I think I died like 15 times or 17 times in the first like 30 minutes. And then I did not die again until the Ganon, like, castle at the end, or whatever you want to call it. So had a lot of fun with it. It just makes me wish for a Link to the Past on the Virtual Console or on the Switch, whatever, the eShop, or I guess the Link's Awakening when it comes out will be fun.
Yeah, I don't understand, because like Ahmed was like, oh my god, this is like impossible, this is so hard, and he was telling me, like, make sure you stick with it, because apparently it has like a half an hour learning curve or something like that. Then I picked it up, and every beat is exactly the same. So I was like, where's the difficulty? You basically tap, stop, that's it. That's it. If you can do that, you can master the game in no time at all. So I was like, why is everyone saying this is so hard to get the hang of? I was like scratching my head. I'm like, can people not tap, stop,
Yeah, but you also need to worry about incoming enemies, and you have to pattern your attacks depending on
Yeah,
them. So
but
even
you
if-
can just stand still. That was the thing. That's what I'm like. I'm not getting what the difficulty is. So you just stand still, let them get to you,
Yeah,
and
but
you
that's
wait 2 screens.
Extremely boring.
No. What I'm saying is
play.
you move towards them, and let's say the guy's 2 squares ahead of you. You know that if he moves the next square, you're not going to have the time to attack. So you move down, let him go, he'll jump over, and then press up. Boom, done. There you go.
Yeah,
like,
that
so I
sounds
found this
extremely boring to me. Like I have to attack all the time. Like I can't just like.
Yeah, but the
wait,
game's
unless
not designed.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I also just tap, stop. I'll lose quickly when to tap and when to stop. I have no musical rhythm. I never know when, like, I guess the rhythm is the drums or stuff like that. I never know what to follow. If you need to follow the drums or you need to follow the guitar or whatever. Like I have no musical. You could ask my girlfriend; she'll tell you I can't follow.
Well, it's just funny.
Simplest beats like tap pause for me. I lose the rhythm like in seconds. Like I don't. But the thing
anyways,
is
all this
that you don't need to be good at that.
exactly.
Because eventually you'll be
Exactly.
overpowered.
Yeah, exactly. And that was exactly what I told Ahmed, was that, like, as soon as you die, like, because basically, for those that don't know, as you clear a screen, you get these little, like, diamonds. The diamonds can be used when you die to buy different power-ups. And let me tell you, like, very, very quickly, you're going to be able to buy a long-range sword that's able to attack several squares ahead of your enemy. Once you get that, you're gonna start clearing screens left, right, and center, especially in like the early portions of the game. And then when you die again, you can actually buy 2 complete heart containers, not heart pieces, heart containers. Once you have those 3 things, like the 2 heart containers plus that long range sword, you're good pretty much till the end of the game, because by the time you start picking up all the other items, you got this.
I really like too how there's are various solutions to puzzles, because I wish I could have live stream my playthrough, because I'm pretty sure I solved many puzzles not the way they were intended to, because I did not have the slippers to swim or the gauntlet to lift rocks until like the end of the game. And I got many heart containers that were designed for you to be able to get by taking a rock and moving it physically, but I did not have that. I had to be very creative with some of those puzzles. So that's another plus I enjoyed, was the fact that there were many ways, kind of like Breath of the Wild, to solve puzzles.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Like, I don't think this is the greatest game of all time, but it does really give sort of credence or whatever. No, credence to indie developers to look for, or really, really small developers, homebrew developers almost, to, if they have a concept, to approach Nintendo and just talk about like potential partnerships and stuff like that, because this really did turn out. This is a very good game.
Did you buy Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you try it?
I have not. I
No,
have not
okay.
had a chance. No,
Because
not
like
yet.
for me, I'll be honest, if the Zelda skins and the music made this worthwhile, because I don't think I would have played it without it, because like I said, it's just too difficult for me, in the sense that, not the game itself, because like I said, it gets overpowered, but I don't think I would have had the patience to actually go through with it without that. But it did remind me a lot of a classic Zelda game. I think I would enjoy it more without the random elements and without the music gameplay. I guess I'm craving a 2D Zelda right now, and this satisfied me, but I can see how people really enjoy this series. It's probably very, very good, especially if you're as musically talented as Jared is. But yeah, I think for me, the Zelda skins and the music added a lot to the game.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm hoping that Nintendo will be open to do these sorts of things again in the future, because right now, like I mentioned in the review, that, like, you know, I wonder if the Axiom Verge guy, like, I know, like, that game took them forever and everything like that, but I mean, like, with a small development team, I'm wondering, would they allow him to do a 2D Metroid type of thing? Or, like, I'm just curious, like, what the ramifications of this will be, because this was good. I really enjoyed this. I really did. Like I said, I don't think it's the greatest game of all time and everything like that, but it was fun, and I'd like to see more creative use of some of their properties as like you said, like a Tide Me Over. And we do have Link's Awakening coming out, but Ahmed and I had a very long discussion about this, saying that, this game was developed for the Game Boy. And as such, if you recall, it is a very short game. And not by the number of dungeons or any of that stuff. It's just not a long game. The map itself is quite short, and the dungeons themselves are not that long. And so he was wondering, he's like, they're charging us the full price for this. Do you think they're going to add anything to it, like to expand the duration of the game? And I don't think so. I think that's why they added the like build your dungeon sort of aspect, which personally, this is going to sound really silly, much like you with your Mario Maker. I've said for years that one of my dream games would be the same sort of thing, but for Zelda. To have like a dungeon maker for Zelda in a Link to the Past style, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I guarantee if Link's Awakening is successful, Zelda Maker will be out in like 2 years.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what else have you been playing?
Gato Roboto. Let's talk about that.
Oh, right.
It's,
yeah.
Another game you've reviewed recently, and you told me to pick this up. And I was like, no, you're crazy. But then I checked it out. It was $8, but with all the digital stuff I buy, it came down that with all the coins, it cost me $3 for that game. And it's that one I really, really enjoyed. Like, it's
I told you.
Really, like, short and sweet. Awesome. Like, it took me 4 hours and like 15 minutes to beat, and it's long. Like, it shouldn't take you that long. I'm just very, very bad at video games, but I had a blast with it. Everybody, if you love Metroidvania, I really recommend this because it's, like I said, short, sweet, really solid mechanics. I love the fact that you control a cat, that if the cat cannot get hit. If it gets hit, it dies, while it's not in the mech suit. So there's 2 different kind of gameplay elements to it, and then as you move along, you keep getting more upgrades, and you can double jump and stuff like that. It's just fantastic, classic Metroidvania. I thought the end was rushed. Like, the final area, it's just basically room full of enemies. It's just like what do you call it? Like in Gears of War or in a first-person shooter when you have endless hordes of enemies. It's just that, basically, rooms of enemies. You clear them, you go to the next room, clear them, go to the next room, and then you fight like the easiest final boss ever compared to the other boss. The ending felt a bit rushed me, but the game itself, really, really worth it. Had a blast playing it, and I love the visuals. Like, it feels like a Game Boy game. Controls better even, and you even have different color skins for your screen. So yeah, really, really enjoyed Gato Roboto.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, I have my review out if people want to know the full details. But for me, honestly, I thought this was a near perfect game. A couple of things, here and there. But for the low entry price, it really blew my mind. And that's why I was on you. I was like, listen, man, if for the price, buy the damn game, because it's just fantastic. It really is. It's fantastic. What else? What else have you been playing? Or did we cover everything?
Yeah, we pretty much covered everything. Maybe Undertale and Deltarune, but I do have reviews out for those games. I'd be curious. Are you gonna review The Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
another one that I
mind.
was gonna
We'll talk about that later. So Undertale and Deltarune. I don't think you enjoyed those as much as I did.
Okay,
is that
well,
correct?
it's not okay. It's sort of like The Messenger. Okay, I'm just teasing you quite a bit. I with The Messenger, you'll see in my review there, I thought The Messenger was an excellent game. Okay, I do. Like, my recommendation for that, go buy it. If on whatever platform that you can, go buy that, because it's a very, very good game. The difference is that you think it's one of the greatest games in the world. That's where we differ. With Deltarune and Undertale, I thought they were good games. I just didn't think they were spectacular games. And the thing is with me is like what I'm noticing is like if I'm not in the mood, like for whatever reason, if I'm not in an RPG mood, you could probably give me the greatest RPG of all time and I'll be like, yeah, it's a good game. It's just I don't think I was in the mood for those games. I think it's that simple. Because there's nothing wrong with them. Everything about them, like there's nothing wrong with those games at all. I just don't think I was necessarily in the mood for like an RPG type of thing. And it's the same thing with Hollow Knight. The day I started playing Hollow Knight, I texted you and I'm like, I don't really know what the hype is about this. Like, it's okay. It's nothing special. But I put it down and I was like, okay, you know what? I've just played Gato Roboto. I just went through the Messenger like not too long ago. I'm like, let's put this down and just wait a bit. And I started to just play maybe like 20, 30 minutes a night, something like that. Like, really, just really not focus on it at all. And then I was like, okay, then I started to really get into it and really like appreciate it, shall we say. And I think that was the thing with Undertale and with Deltarune was like, I was like, okay, let's go through the whole thing. I should have stopped and said like, okay, let's just slowly go through this instead of spending like, 2-hour blocks at a time playing it because I just wasn't in the mood. It's as simple as that. So all of those games, there's nothing wrong with. And I'm even going to start with the Messenger. I'm actually going to start with that to say that like you put it on a pedestal that I don't think I would ever be able to be like, oh my God, this is my top game of all time. Like just because I had like these massive expectations and I'm playing the game and I'm like, wow, this is really good. But ironically for me, when they did the switch from Ninja Gaiden to Metroid, I actually decreased my enjoyment, which is kind of funny. And I'm going to talk about that in the review. And maybe that's just me. Like it could be that it's just me, but I don't know why. I was like, I really loved how it was linear and you were forced to talk to the shopkeeper like all the time and he always had something new. I'd go through all the dialogue choices, but once the game opened up, that changed dramatically and you didn't have that same sort of feel and I found it a little jarring. But again, that could be for a number of reasons. But there is one thing I want to talk about after. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah, I was just going to say that Undertale, I think, is an acquired taste more than any of the other games I mentioned, like Deltarune 2. But Messenger, I'm a bit surprised, but Undertale, like, it's really an acquired taste. Like, I could see somebody playing Undertale and thinking it's the worst game ever. I could see that easily. Like, I think I really enjoyed it, but I can see how people could not enjoy it. Not saying that you didn't, but that one wasn't really surprising. Hollow Knight, I'm impressed because I've seen recently that you put at least 4 hours into it, and that game, I don't want to discourage you, but it's like a 30-hour game and it's incredibly difficult. So I don't see you. I don't think it's your game, but we'll see. So what else
we'll see.
Did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, Bloodstained.
Okay.
Now that you're still on the.
I do need to leave soon, so I was wondering if.
Well, give me 5 minutes, damn you! Give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I don't want to go into detail about any of this stuff. What I do want to say is this: if they can finish, because I want to save for the review, but if they can fix the Switch version, it has the potential of being the best version because you can take it on the go. But all I wanted to say about this, honestly, all I wanted to say was that if you liked Symphony of the Night and you are ever in the mood for that style of game, I don't think anyone on earth would be disappointed with Bloodstained. I don't think so. It really is truly Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's the exact same game, except, well, what I mean by that is it's Castlevania in the Metroidvania style that it needs some polish, though. And I'm going to save all of that for the review. Gameplay is perfect. They don't need to change any of that, but they do need to change some of the graphics and things like that, especially like optimization that we already talked about. But I will say that if you are in the mood, anyone listening, if you're in the mood for specifically not Hollow Knight, not a game or The Messenger that's trying to do something new, because this doesn't do anything new. This basically gives you a PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, whatever, PC version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night if it was made today. Why they went 3D instead of 2D, I assumed it was for cost cutting, but in the end I really would have preferred 2D. But I'm very pleasantly surprised that it's not nostalgia talking or anything like that. It did turn out. So I'm happy about that. So there you go. Now, you want to end this off with a blast from the past, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we have 2 seconds. I just need to remember. And you don't want to say anything?
Yeah, well, you talk about that. I'll mention a PS4 game I was playing like a month or two ago called Call of the Wild, The Hunter. Call of the Wild, I actually mean, which is a first-person open-world realistic hunting simulator. A friend of mine downloaded it on his PS4 and he was raving about it. I remember that I had a friend that I see at work who had a game physically, so I asked him if he could lend it for me for a week, and he did, and I played for a week and I had a blast doing so. Unfortunately, it's not on the Switch because I think the Switch would explode trying to run it, but there is another game on the Switch that I'd like to try eventually. I have it on my wish list for Amazon, hint. But yeah, I played that, really loved it because it's I'm not really a hunter per se. I've hunted a few times in my life, but not much. I just never got my hunting license, which I believe is mandatory in Canada if you want to own a firearm. So I've never had that. I did go with my dad when I was younger. I did go a bit more in my early 20s. But it's something that I always had fun with. But in video games, it's always way too like simulations. Like you'll go in a field and there'll be like 1,000 moose for you to shoot at, and like you'll shoot, you'll miss, they'll still stay there. This game, like it will take you an hour to find a deer, and you might miss it, or you might actually sometimes it took me longer than that, not without even finding something. So it can be a bit frustrating, but I really enjoyed the simulation aspects of it, and was really something that we don't really often talk about because I don't think we've ever played hunting games before here, but it's a good one. It's a good one. If you're into it, like it's only for the PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, I believe, but it's still worth it.
Okay, and because of that, I just found the game that I want to talk about just really quickly, really super quickly, and then we can all depart. It's a game called Terranigma. If you don't know anything about it, it's basically by Quintet. It's an unofficial, sequel, whatever. It's part of the Illusion of Gaia Soul Blazer games, and it's an action RPG. And why I mention this is because it's one of a few games that never made it to North America on the Super Nintendo. It was released in Europe, though, in English in 1996. But the thing is, by this particular point in time, right, like say 95-ish, okay, Enix had closed shop. And yes, it is an Enix game. And yeah, it's one of these games that's very sad because it was never officially released in North America. And I don't know if it actually made it to the virtual console or not. This could be one of those last games that is on the SNES that's actually available in English that just was never released in North America. And it's sad because had it been released in North America, I think it would have been like really well received. It's Illusion of Gaia. It's basically the same similar type of gameplay. And that's it. That's my blast from the past. So I guess now you're free. I shall let you go. Alrighty?
Perfect.
Okay, so thanks for joining, everybody, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another podcast. Take care, everybody.